Tina's on fire this morning. Well, when you think of ancient ruins, you might think of maybe Stonehenge or the Colosseum, but let's not forget that Arizona is home to many ruins as well.
Arizona Highways magazine didn't forget, and they're actually featuring them in the first issue of 2016. Robert Stieve, of course, is here to give us a sneak peek.
Good morning. I thought you were going to make a joke about Arizona Highways being an ancient ruin.
Oh, we would never.
So thank you for sparing
No
us.
way, of course not. Well, I was saying before the show started that I've actually been to the Colosseum and to Stonehenge, but I've never been to any of these monuments in Arizona, so I'm really excited to learn about them today.
Yeah, you know, they're all over the place actually in Arizona. What we did is we featured 3 different places you can go to, some are easily accessed. I mean, places like Montezuma Castle, it's a national park. You can drive up on a paved road and get out and pay your ticket and go look at it. What we feature on the cover this month is deep in a canyon that requires an 18-mile hike. So what you're looking at there on the cover is a place called Quetzal. It's up on the Navajo National Monument, which is way up in northern Arizona, sort of built in. It's carved out of the Navajo Nation, and here's another look at it. It's actually the best preserved ancient ruin in the Southwest. It was the Anasazis. Some people refer to them as the ancient Puebloans. Some dispute about what to call them, but what you call that is cool. And I actually did the story on this one, so I got to go hike back in there. They only allow 20 people a day to go in. Because it's sensitive area. I will tell you that to get back there, you have to go through quicksand and worry about rattlesnakes and West Nile virus and flash flooding. So, and they only open it in the dead of summer when it's hot up there. So they do everything they can to keep people from going back into it. But I did it, so anybody can do it.
Just you and Indiana Jones are going back there. Quicksand and rattlesnakes. Who else is going back there?
As it turned out, the day that I did it, there was just one other guy. There were 18 permits that were left unused, and he and I met at the trailhead, and it was one of those things where it's like, do I really want to spend 18 hours with a stranger? Turned out I was glad, especially when we actually got into some quicksand, because you have to wonder how to get out. What you're looking at here is called Tsegi Canyon. It's Tsegi. A little bit hard to pronounce, but it's the first canyon that you get into before you ultimately head into Quetzal Canyon to do the 18-mile hike back to the ruins we were just looking at. And that's one of the places featured in this issue.
At least it's a beautiful hike to get there.
Yeah,
long but beautiful.
It is long and beautiful, and I think I might have even referenced that in the story. Even if you didn't have this amazing payoff at the end with these ancient ruins. By the way, those were built in about the 1200s. Wow. So you know, you think about Columbus and his discovery of America and all the things that happened. This was a civilization that existed, you know, before any of that ever happened. So, but yeah, beautiful hike along the way. You follow a creek. When you get there, you get to do what you're seeing here. You actually get to climb up. It's about a 90-foot ladder, wooden ladder that you climb up, and you actually get into this ruin. And you can see from this perspective that it was built under this sort of overhanging rock face, and it was it was really the height of civilization. There was really only about 25 or 30 years, but overall it was over a little bit longer period. But
did that say 160 rooms?
Yeah, that originally had 160 rooms in it. Yeah, they weren't big. You would not do well there, probably. It's like you need more space. We all do, but you especially.
Wait,
I've seen all your outfits.
He knows you.
I know. I've seen all your outfits. You know, it's like, but it's sensitive. But most of what you see in there is exactly as it was, you know, all those years ago. And so another place we feature in this issue is a place called Kraken Rock Pueblo, and this is closer to Flagstaff up at a place called Wupatki National Monument. This one's a national park. You can actually drive up and see some of the ruins from your car. To get to this place, it requires an overnight backpack in, and again, they only, I think, let 10 or 20 people go in at a time, and they only do that twice a year. So it's very, very limited. You don't have to know anybody to get in there. It's a first come, first serve. And it's not a real intense backpack, but you do have to know what you're doing. And back in Kraken Rock, a lot of these ancient petroglyphs that you see back there, you know, a lot of debate about what they all mean exactly, but it's pretty cool when you see that. And the other thing you see both at Quetzal and Kraken Rock and many of the others is actually broken pieces of pottery shards that are on the ground that have just been left there. When I got into Quetzal, I was there just sort of mesmerized in awe of this whole place. And then you look down, and there was actually corn cobs on the ground that, were preserved because of the dry climate. So I'm looking down at leftovers that are from the 1200s.
Leftovers.
It's like being in a frat house, right? It's so bad, but
Ancient
one way to
frat
put it. Well, I think this is so cool. I love seeing the pictures, but one of my favorite things about Arizona Highways magazine is that you do talk about, these amazing places that many of us won't ever get to visit, and we get to learn more about our beautiful state. So I think this is great, Robert, and thank you so much for coming on.
as always, thank you.
And we'll see you next time. You can see more of these beautiful shots by subscribing to Arizona Highways magazine. Give them a call at 1-800-543-5432 or go online to arizonahighways.com.